If you worked for us in the spring,
For any position?
for any position, I want you to pass them to the middle right now. And Dalton will collect those. Dawn's going to get the ones right outside. Now, if you did not, I want to pass the rest of them. So I will take the ones who did not work for us in the spring. What about the ones that are hanging at the door? We'll get those. No worries. Does anybody else have a filled out application? Cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you for coming to the Kickball Rules and Field Clinic. My name is Ben Strunk. I'm going to be the supervisor of officials for Kickball this summer. I'm a competitive sports graduate assistant here, in my second year next year. I'm going to introduce the rest of our staff and clinicians here in a second. Just a show of hands, who has officiated softball or kickball with us in the past? Handful, okay. Who has not? Whole bunch, perfect, okay. Who has worked for us as an official in any sport in the past? Okay. Perfect. And just out of curiosity, who was at the info session? Okay, and who is new, has not worked for us, and was not at the info session? Okay. Cool. Well, welcome. Tonight is a little bit different than most of our clinics. In most of our sports, we have clinics on multiple nights. We'll do a rules clinic, and then a field clinic, and sometimes we'll do practice games or have a training camp as well. For kickball, we just have one clinic. This is it. Okay? Games start on Monday. We have to be ready to go on Monday. This is the 2 hours that we have to train. Okay? I'm not clicking for one. I don't trust this board. I'll go back one time. So our agenda for tonight, we're going to start off by meeting the staff. Okay? But some of the faces that you'll see throughout the summer, both as on this clinician staff as well as within rec sports. And we're going to go through the hiring process, how it's going to work, kickball rules, and then we're going to head out to the fields to talk about some positioning items and some mechanics to start on Monday. So first, we're going to meet the staff. These are some faces that you're going to see throughout the summer. First is our assistant director, John Braska. He is also an NCAA Division I and Division II basketball official. You might see him out in the fields. Our three competitive sports coordinators, Marty Dempsey, Carly Counts, and Eric Asher. Myself and Alex Prano are the two graduate assistants. She is here this summer as well. She may or may not be around. And as well as our three program assistants here this summer, Jenna, Michael, and Vanessa. They do a lot of the behind-the-scenes things with intramural sports. So scheduling the teams, dealing with player issues, and all of those types of items, dealing with equipment and all those types of items. But you will see them out at the fields. So please go up and say hi, and I'm sure that you will get to know them as the summer goes on. So, now let's meet our clinicians. I'll talk about me first for a second. I've been doing softball and now kickball for the last 7 years. I've done high school baseball for 6 of those. So it's what I started in, and it's definitely my home is on the softball field. So,
my name is Dalton Whitmer. I've been doing softball and kickball now for about 3 years. Graduated in high school, but in the future.
My name is Lee Braun, and I've also been doing softball and kickball for the past 3 years, and I've worked my way up from there.
And John McGonigal is not with us tonight. He will be with us as a clinician throughout the summer, though, so you will see him around as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Are there any questions before we get started? Perfect. I highly encourage you, we'll get to this in a second, I highly encourage you to ask questions tonight, okay? I guarantee you that somebody else in the room has the same question that you had. And again, we have one clinic. So if you don't ask today, what are you going to do when you get out in the field? Okay? So, the hiring process. I will tell you straight up, we do not have very many spots for kickball officials. Okay? We play on 2 fields. We need a total of about 8 to 10 officials. You see how many people are in this room? Everybody looks around. Wow. Yeah, I know. We need about 8 to 10 officials. Okay, we just don't have that many games during the summer, as opposed to a fall or a spring, so we just simply cannot hire that many officials. So, our criteria for choosing our officials. First of all, some keys to getting hired. Be attentive tonight. Don't be on your phones. Stay into the conversation. Contribute to the conversation. Ask questions. And we'll get to a couple other things on some other slides here. Contribute to discussion. And then finally, performance on the rules test. So, if you're at the general info session, you already know. If you've been to a clinic, you already know. After the rules session tonight, we will have a rules test, okay? That will go up online tonight at 8:15, okay? And we'll talk about how you access that and all of that as we go on. But there will be a rules test tonight, so after, it'll be due at noon tomorrow, so once you get done with the clinic tonight, go home, take the test, do well on the test. I would highly recommend taking notes. I see a few people brought notepads. Well done. That will definitely help. Okay? So, if you are hired, you will be notified tomorrow by 5 o'clock via email whether you have been hired or not. Okay? If you are hired, games begin on Monday. We are working on what the next step is going to be for if we are going to meet again before Monday or not, but it'll all be in the email that you get tomorrow. Okay? All right. Gerard, would you mind working with them? Thank you. Go ahead, go through that. Okay, so some of our expectations here at Intramural Sports and at Rec Sports. Who has seen the heart model before? A bunch of hands go up. Good. Okay. The heart model is kind of our grounding and what we are looking for in our officials, some of the characteristics that we look for. Does anybody know what the H stands for? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Before we get to that, we're going to set a rule right now. Anytime you speak tonight, I hope it's often, anytime you speak tonight, you're going to say your name first. Okay? First and last name.
I'm Zach Resch, and H stands for hustle.
Good. What does hustle mean? Right here.
Jamie, it means, or James Calla, it means that you're active, you're attentive, and you're working to replace the situation.
Good. Anything else? Yeah.
Alpha variances, just keeping up with the play, make sure you're on top of it.
Absolutely. So hustling to your spot, keeping up with the play. Our participants see that you are working hard, they're going to think that you care about your job, right? Okay, what's the E?
Taylor Armbrecht, it's enthusiasm.
Okay, and what does enthusiasm mean to an official or an umpire?
H. Garrison means you're in the game, you're attentive, care, showing you have this care.
Absolutely. There's some else? What are we going to say?
More in Harper, I should say, be loud, be, I like to act, I like to care.
Greatest out is to be happy doing what you're doing.
Sure. Be happy. Who likes sports in this room? Any hands not up? Okay, good. I hope you're here because you enjoy sports. I hope you enjoy your job while you're out there too. It definitely will show when you're officiating. If you're having fun, you're going to be more receptive, or you're going to be better at your job in the first place, and participants are going to know that you care and that you showed up to work for a reason. Okay? The A.
My name is Israel Taylor, and the A stands for aptitude.
Okay, what's that mean?
Aptitude means being able to learn quickly.
Okay. Okay. Learn quickly. Anything else? Yep.
Rodriguez Sarmento, it means knowing what you have to do, like what your calls and why you made them, and being able to explain that
Good.
to the players.
Good. Absolutely. So being able to learn, to take all the information, both that we talked about tonight, we talked about all summer long, and harness that within yourself to be able to show that on the field and learn quickly. Perfect. The R. Right here.
Dominic DeJanko, the R stands for respect.
Okay.
And respect yourself, respect other officials and most of the players.
Absolutely. Respect is key. Okay. Have respect for the game. Have respect for the players. Hopefully they'll have some respect for you. Absolutely. The T, the last one. Here.
Alice Collins,
And what's teamwork got to do with us?
Communicating with your other officials and making sure everyone's on top of all the potential calls.
Sure. Anything else? Yeah.
Commending on, also, having trust in the other official, making sure that when they say something, you agree with it and you trust what they say.
Absolutely. Anything else? Yeah.
It also has to do with,
Name?
Ryan Sear. It also has to do with, working well with the coworkers outside of our sports as well, so that everything runs smoothly.
Absolutely. If we show up to the front desk and start giving the front desk a bunch of crap for not letting us in the summer because we have to pay 20 or 40 bucks or whatever it is, I'm sure nobody's happy about that. But if we start giving them crap and it comes back to us, well, your employee is giving our teammate, they may work in facility operations, but still a teammate within rec sports, a bunch of disrespect that was bad on us. Perfect. Okay, so we talked about the heart model. That's kind of a grounding for what we are looking for as a department. We're going to have a motto this summer, and it's going to be, what do we look for in officials? There's two things. If you were here in the info session, or if you were here last night for basketball and dodgeball, you already know what these are. What are they? How about everybody just say it and knows it?
Attitude and effort.
Hey, look at that. Attitude and effort, absolutely. The idea behind this is that we can teach you the mechanics, we can teach you the skills that you need to be successful on the field. But we can't teach you attitude, we can't teach you effort. Those have to come from inside you. Okay? That's the two things we're looking for. So when I say what are the two things we're looking for in officials, you will say
Attitude and effort.
Perfect. Last thing before we get started with kickball stuff. The GOA. Who has heard of the GOA before? Wonderful. We'll be brief about it. The GOA is our Gator Officials Association. It's a student organization run through a lot of our students within rec sports. And basically it's an organization that allows students to officiate church leagues and community leagues and work towards their high school certifications and all that great stuff to improve and advance in officiating. Last year we doled out over $30,000 to GOA students and GOA officials. So certainly something to take advantage of, a lot of higher paid games than what you get out on the kickball fields here. So if you're interested in that, let us know. All right, so we will get started with softball stuff. Are there any questions, softball, kickball stuff? Are there any questions about anything before we get to